Good morning, everybody. Matt with Slice here. I'm going to give some of the guys on Instagram a minute to pop in. Last week I uploaded this video to YouTube, and so I'll do the same thing this week as well with that. For all the guys that'll watch this on YouTube after the fact, you won't be able to see any of the comments or conversation in Instagram, but regardless, you can still see all the knives. Oh, the gang's rolling in. Mr. Pekarski, Steve, Laramie, James. What is going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Are there YouTube porn stars? Pretty sure there are other sites dedicated to such things with very similar names. Cullen, how are you, sir? Guys, we've got a killer lineup this week. Like, holy shit, killer lineup this week. Mav Knives, what's up, man? Your work lately has been freaking awesome. Loving it. Mr. Dearman, what's up, dude? What's going on, everybody? How's 2021 treating y'all? Everybody had a safe and happy new year? We did. Nice and relaxing. A little bit of time off of work, which is always fantastic. We have ourselves a dreary day in South Louisiana. It is cold and damp and overcast. We won't be seeing the sun again anytime soon, I don't think. I think it's supposed to rain for the rest of the week and weekend. But, so yeah. So that'd be the scoop today. But some badass stuff coming down the pipe. Quite happy with this week's batch of listings. I've been getting a lot of questions about consignment in the last week or so. Mr. Hicks, what's up, dude? And so, for those of you not familiar with the fact that we consign your knives, the darn shop is in the 50s with the heat. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm not going to have none of that. I got sidebarred there. So, we do consign custom knives. You can find all of the information about how our consignment process works on our website. There is a tab under the Slice Fine Knives section called Consign Your Knives. And so it has all of the information that anybody could ever ask for there. It talks about the rate, how the process works, what we do when we consign your knives, et cetera, et cetera. And there's a form at the end that you fill out. You type in the knives, the knife maker, the model, and your desired net price on that. And then we sort out the details in terms of getting them in our hands. So y'all be sure to check that out, and we can figure out what's going on there. So anyway, what y'all want to talk about first today? Which knife? Which one's at the top of the list for somebody? Drop it in the comments. First comment to get it will be the first knife we talk about. I know which one I want to talk about, but we'll see what y'all want to talk about. So, y'all quiet today. The Marsh. Excellent choice, Mr. Pekarski, and that is also my choice as well. So let's talk about her. This knife is so tiny, it's crazy. Andrew, what's up, dude? So, first knife of the day to talk about, the Jeremy Marsh Mini Chisel. 2.7-inch blade, 6.5 inches overall length. Thumb disc. Nothing with thumb disc this week. Praise the Lord. The Jeremy Marsh Mini Chisel. This is actually a very early piece from Jeremy. And so this was the original size for the chisel at the time. And just over the years, the design itself kind of just got a little bit bigger. But this is how he originally made them and designed them, was in this size. No pocket clip on this full dress version here. But it has a 2.7-inch. You can actually really nicely thumb flip this one. This one has a 2.7-inch mosaic Damascus blade with some mosaic Damascus bolsters as well. They are not matching Damascus, two different kinds. I'm not sure if they were made by the same maker or not. I did not check that with Jeremy in terms of who actually made the Damascus on this piece. But really, really nice finish on these. They're brought to a really nice high satin finish, and then it's got some beautiful mother of pearl scales. Another indicator that this is an early piece or a piece that was made, you know, it's got a few years on it, because this is some stunning mother of pearl. The mother of pearl that's sourced today and found offered for purchase today just doesn't seem to have the depth that mother of pearl did, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. A lot of it has to do with just the over-farming of the oysters, not giving them enough time to do their thing and make this beautiful pearl. But beautiful depth in these scales, just a lot of vibrance, a lot of color, a lot of movement to them. And so 2.7-inch blade, 6.5 inches overall length, listing for $41.95. And this one also has some gorgeous file-worked liners as well. So all the hardware, the thumb stud, it's coming through on video. It's stunning. I know, James, you see it in person, man. Like, truly, if it looks good in the video, just imagine how nice it is in person. But anodized thumb disc, hardware, and the liners. And the liners also have that beautiful file work on them. Oh, anodized standoffs as well. This piece is also on washers, so really, really just tight action on this guy. Flips beautifully. So that is the Jeremy Marsh, by today's standards, the mini chisel. Like I said earlier, this was the original size, so you could really just call it the chisel, just in terms of that. But because there are a few different variations of the size being offered now, this is considered a mini. And once again, on that 2.7-inch blade, 6.5 inches overall length. So that is the chisel. All right. Next up, let's talk about one of these. So I have a pair of knives listing by this particular maker this week. His name is Corey Martin. And if you're not familiar with Corey Martin as a knife maker, you might be familiar with him in terms of his photography. So Corey Martin Imaging is his Instagram handle. And his father is Peter Martin, the knife maker. And so it's just a natural fit that, man, that dude was flying. Anyway, it's only natural that Corey would dabble in some knife making. And so Corey's knives are very, very artistic. They just have a lot going on and a lot of creativity being pushed through them. And so Peter, his father, is known for his sole authorship, Sanmai Damascus, and a few other variations of that. And so Corey actually does forge his own Damascus as well. And so this is an unnamed flipper, but this one is a 3.7-inch blade. It's been brought to a mirror polish and then hot blued, as you can see there. The handles on this are all hand carved. And so I can only imagine how much time Corey has in carving out these handles. I mean, you can just see all the crazy lines, the curves, the textures, everything. I mean, there is just a ton of work in these handles. And then between the two, this one has got the coolest backspacer as well. So you can see how it's got those file worked file worked ridges kind of going across the spine of it here. But then the backspacer itself is also the sole authorship Damascus there in a hot blue finish. But what I like so much about this one actually is that it has copper spacers between it and the titanium frames. Dino, what's up, dude? So this one is a 3.7-inch blade. It is 8.5 inches overall length, and it's listing for $24.95. I wish I could better convey just how much work is in this knife in this video. It's just one of those knives as well. When you look at the photography, you can look at the video that I posted on YouTube, but you do not really appreciate it until you hold it in your hand and you just see how much work has been done to these slabs of titanium. But really, really nice smooth action, very crisp flipping action, rock solid lockup, very, very well made knife. And y'all's for $24.95. So that is the Corey Martin unnamed flipper. All right. Next up, let's talk about this guy. Dustin Turpin Apparel. I've listed a couple of other Turpins that are currently available on the site, actually. This is the last one in the queue that I've got that was made by Dustin, at least, that's currently with me. And so this one has a hand rub satin blade that is 3.5 inches in length. It is an 8.1-inch overall length, and the bolsters and pocket clip and actually a portion of the backspacer are all made from the same Damascus. Very, very unique pattern on this Damascus too. I've never seen anything quite like it. But all satin titanium hardware, custom pivots as usual, and then it has carbon fiber scales and pivot collars. I've talked about all the two other Turpins that I've previously listed recently. I've gone into a lot of depth about his backspacers. That is by far his coolest feature of his knives. They're all fantastic flippers. They all just, operate very, very smoothly. But the backspacers are by far his coolest part. So this is a 3-piece backspacer with titanium on either side and a piece of that Damascus sandwich in between. This one has got a pretty unique feature in it, in that the majority of it does run along the spine of the knife, but the rest of it actually kind of curves upwards into the handle. And so I actually never looked to see. But yeah, I mean, it is very, very tight in there in terms of the backspacer contacting the cutting edge. I mean, it is right there. So very cool feature. You can kind of see how it curves inward there. But his knives are always very, very well tuned. Just really nice flipping actions. So the Turpin Peril, 3.5-inch blade, 8.1 inches overall length, listing for $26.95. Hey, Mr. Brian Brown. What's up, dude? How are you today, sir? It's my buddy over in Mississippi, guys. So that is the Dustin Turpin. All right. Let's talk about something a little bit fancier, shall we? Let's talk about this guy. We've got quite a few knives today with just a lot of handwork on them. And this is the Walter Randolph Mini Persian. 3.2-inch blade. I'm beautiful. How are you? I'm beautiful. I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. 3.2-inch blade, ground from a almost mirror polished finished piece of Damasteel that has been deep etched. And this is a little different than the etches that I'm accustomed to seeing from Walter. The etch on this blade actually reminds me of the etches done by some of the South Africans like Andre Thorburn and Andre Van Heerden, J.D. Vandeventure. So a very, very deep, dark etch on this particular blade. The frames are titanium, and they have been stippled from end to end and edge to edge. Can only imagine. Brian, how long does something like that take when you did yours? Brian just completed a build that had a full textured handle, and be curious to know how long it took him, just to kind of give us an idea of how long it probably took Walter to do this one. But full stippled titanium handles. It's got a floating Damasteel backspacer as well as a matching Damasteel pocket clip, and then it also has Damasteel pivot collars surrounding those titanium pivots. But 3.2 inches in overall length, 7.4 inches, 3.2-inch blade, 7.4 inches overall, listing for $37.95, guys. As you would expect, one of Walter's fantastic flipping actions, 4 to 5 hours. 4 to 5 hours for the entire handle, or 4 to 5 hours per side. I'm assuming this for the whole handle. But I really like the flipping action on this knife too. But you just cannot beat this blade, guys. In person, it is just reflects light like crazy. Really, really nice mirror polish finish on this thing. Really, really deep, dark edge too. But it's just a badass piece. So that is the Walter Randolph Mini Persian. So, next up, let's talk about the other just Dremel work. Gotcha. All right. 2 knives left to go in this week's listings. So we talked about the first Corey Martin. I'm going to talk about the second one. So as I mentioned, Corey Martin, more known for his photography, does make knives as well. His dad is Peter Martin. And the first one was this guy here with the blue handle. This one features the same type of sole authorship, hot blued and polished Damascus, but just a different variation on the theme of these carved handles. So these handles are carved entirely by hand, no machine work whatsoever here. And the first one was anodized blue, whereas this one is more of a... It's kind of difficult to describe it. It's not anodized because of the color, but I really need to check with Corey and see exactly what the finishing technique was to achieve this, but it's this really nice muted gray color, as you can see here. Just some crazy, crazy work on it. Similar theme as the other one with that ridged style spacer here. This one does not have the copper spacers in between the hot blue Damascus spacer and the handles. And then a blasted pocket clip here as well. But same dimensions as well on it. It is a 3.7 inch blade. It is 8.5 inches in overall length. And this one is going to be listing for $19.95. So that is the other Corey Martin Unnamed flipper. I'm going to show you the pair of these together. Like I said, guys, just crazy amounts of work in these things. Beautiful, beautiful. So that is those. All right. And then last but not least, definitely the most sought after of the knives that we have listing this week, and very few and far between. The perfect size, in my opinion, Frankfisher Battle. The Battle is probably one of the most iconic custom tactical knives that I am personally aware of in the community, and I would probably say that most of y'all will agree with that statement. The double recurve Tonto, just unmistakable when you see it. When you see this grind in that blade shape, you know it's a Frankfisher Battle, hands down. It has those signature double bolsters. These are the S-shaped ones. There's a few different variations of that where they have the straight lines going across. There's one that goes at a slight diagonal, and this one's got those S curves to it. The double bolsters, first of all, if you notice, all hidden hardware, with the exception of the pivot. We'll talk about that in a second. Very nice eggshell finished double titanium bolsters on both sides, being a liner lock. If you know, you know. That's right, man. This is ladder pattern Mokutai from Chad Nichols, also with hidden hardware, done in a really nice blue hue. The geared style backspacer is from the same Mokutai, as is the pocket clip. And then, of course, as you would expect, Frank's signature 10-point pivot there with a Mokutai inlay and then Zircutai pivot collars. The blade is a 3.4-inch Damasteel Damacore. For those of y'all that are not familiar with it, Damasteel makes their own version of Sanmai that they have labeled as Damacore. And as you would expect in the precision that comes from Damasteel, you have a perfectly centered core. You can see how the jacket is almost identical on both sides once the core is exposed from grinding. You're not going to be able to really see it from here, but you can see the core running across the spine there. But 3.4-inch Damacore blade, 7.8 inches in overall length, listing for $94.95, guys. It is, in my opinion, the perfect size. I would say there's probably more out there in the 3.7, 3.8-inch category than there are in the 3.3, 3.4 range. But this one also features Frank's low-profile flipper tab. There are definitely some makers out there. One might still even be in attendance in our live stream. Not really a damn guy, but there is something about the way that the Frank's grind plays on that Damacore, doesn't it? Jeremy with Damacore blade, you're right. It is. It's some crazy stuff. But extremely well put together, as you would expect. All hidden hardware, checks all the option boxes. This guy's ready to go. So that is the Frankfisher Battle. All right. Every week I grab a piece that's currently in inventory and is available for sale on the website as we're doing this. And this week I grabbed one of my current favorites, a Steve Skiff Accomplice. This knife is fantastic, guys. If you've never handled one of Steve's knives, they are up there with some of the very best, in my opinion. And this one literally has every option available. It has a Damasteel blade. It has Damasteel scales with hidden hardware. It has Damasteel pivot collars. It has a Damasteel pocket clip. And it has a Damasteel floating backspacer with some really nice mill work on the inside and the outside of this piece. The bolsters are zirconium and the liners are anodized titanium. It rides on skiff bearings, and it's just got a fantastic action. Man, he just makes such a great knife. A crazy, consistently good knife. Every one that you handle from Steve is just exceptional. So like I said, this knife is currently available on the website. If you want more information about it, just head on over to slicefk.com and type in Skiff in the search bar, and this guy will come up. So that is the Steve Skiff Accomplice. All right, this week's preview piece. This is going to be a piece that is listing next week. And I've only had one of these ever list on the website before. I was quite excited to get my hands on it. So this is, check this guy out here, a Mascus Precision Primero. This was actually originally an auction piece. I can't remember exactly when the auction was. It was last year, though. And beautiful, beautiful build here, guys. A thumb stud version of Seth's Primero. This is Mike Norris Sanmai Damascus in a straight core. It's got black Damascus bolsters, zirconium pivot collars, zirconium backspacer, zirconium pocket clip, and then it's got micarta scales. So this knife is going to be listing next week, so we'll give more details then. But just, just a really, really badass knife. I personally own a Primero as well. It's also a liner lock with mirror polished micarta scales. I actually like this one more. I might sell mine and keep this one. So that is the Primero. Listing next week. Alrighty, guys. Last but not least, I always tell you what I got in my pocket today. And so in my pocket today is my most recent acquisition, my David Mosier horror business. I'd been trying to track down a fellow collector who had a liner lock version like this one that would actually sell me the damn thing. And so I was able to come up on this guy. So Damasteel blade, black and white carbo quartz scales, finished in a way that I had never seen another maker do. And then it's got zirconium bits and Damasteel collars to match the blade. So that's what's in my pocket today. All right. And so that's everything I have in terms of listing this week. Just for those that are tuning in now or might tune in, I always do just a really, really brief recap of everything, and then I'm going to hit the road. Yeah, they are, man. You want to talk about, that was the only one I can find that somebody was willing to part with. He doesn't make a lot of them. All right, so let me just briefly run through these guys with y'all one more time. Jeremy Marsh Mini Chisel, 2.7-inch blade, ground from Mosaic Damascus. Lighting in here today is not very good, just with the weather outside. So y'all be sure to check out the photos on Instagram or the website. Got a liner lock Steadfast coming your way. What? Man, maybe one day. Mosaic Damascus blade, Mosaic Damascus bolsters, beautiful mother of pearl scales, file worked titanium liners, anodized the same color as the standoffs and all of the hardware. And the Chisel 2.7-inch blade, 6.5 inches overall length, listing for $41.95, guys. Jeremy Marsh Mini Chisel. Corey Martin, Unnamed Flipper, sole authorship, hot blued Damascus blade, and matching backspacer with copper spacers. Hand-carved titanium handles with just loads of work on them. Anodized in a really nice blue color, and then a matching carved pocket clip as well. The first Martin is a 3.7-inch blade, 8.5 inches overall length, listing for $24.95. While I'm on the topic of Corey, hey Tristan, what's up, dude? I'll talk about his other piece that's listing this week, the Corey Martin Unnamed Flipper as well. This is also a 3.7-inch sole authorship, hot blued and polished Damascus blade with matching backspacer. Hand-carved titanium handles. This one's done in a very nice muted gray finish. And this one is listing for $19.95. The other one's a little bit smoother, just in terms of free fall action. So that is the other Corey Martin. We've got the Dustin Turpin Peril. 3.5-inch hand rub satin blade, 8.1 inches in overall length, listing for $26.95. Damascus bolsters, Matching Damascus pocket clip. Jake, what's up, dude? And then matching center section of the backspacer in Damascus as well. Carbon fiber scales, carbon fiber pivot collars. So once again on the Turpin Peril, 3.5-inch blade, 8.1 inches overall length, listing for $26.95. About damn time, dude. I'm almost out of here. All right. Next up, Walter Randolph Mini Persian. Deep and dark etched Damasteel blade, pocket clip, floating backspacer, and pivot collars, and hand stippled titanium handles. 3.2-inch blade, 7.4 inches overall length, listing for $37.95. Love this knife. All right, last but not least, the Frankfisher Battle. 3.4-inch Damacore blade, double titanium bolsters in an eggshell finish, Mokutai scales with hidden hardware, Frank's signature 10-point pivot with Mokutai inlays and Zircutai collars, Mokutai geared backspacer, Mokutai pocket clip. And this one also does have Frank's low-profile flipper tab. And this knife is listing for $94.95, guys. They don't make them much better than this from Frank. And then I grabbed this piece out the safe. It's currently available on the site. The Steve Skiff Accomplice in all Damasteel and Zirconium. This knife is already available if you're looking for one. The preview piece for a knife listing next week. The Damascus Precision Liner Lock Full Dress Primero. More details to come on this guy next week. And then last but not least, what was in my pocket? My David Mosier horror business. Alrighty, boys. That concludes everything I have to talk about today. I'm going to get back to enjoying this crummy weather. There you go, Jake. Now you know. I trust everybody had a safe and happy new year, and we've got even more incredibly badass knives coming at you next week as well. Thanks, everybody, for the business so far in 2021, and y'all enjoy the rest of your week and have a great weekend. Take care.